Hello everyone and welcome back. Now we're joined by Dr. Milrod, a licensed psychotherapist for Southern California Transgender Counseling. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Milrod.
Thank you.
So now we've discussed Don's history and everything that he has been through. And for many people, you describe coming out as your birth. For many transgenders, coming out and acknowledging who they are can be terrifying. How do you help with that?
Well, it's interesting because I think when people come in at first, many people are simply so scared that they have a difficult time telling me the truth because they think that I want to hear something, or maybe they've read in other places that their story has to sound a certain way. Maybe they think that they have to tell me that they're of one particular sexual orientation, or that their life has been in a particular way that, they've read about, that this is what a transgendered person is like. And so the first couple of sessions that we have, we usually try to establish a therapeutic alliance in the sense that I tell my clients every individual is different. No two stories are alike. There may be, certain aspects of your life that you share with other transgender people. One of the main factor, of course, being a dysphoria, an unhappiness with what you are. It's not so much that someone says, oh, I'm so happy as a man. It's maybe, if you're a trans man, like in Don's case, I'm so unhappy being a woman. So it's more based on the unhappiness that you are feeling about your current state than perhaps the happiness of your future state, because you don't really know what that's like. And that's also another factor, is that you are stepping into the unknown. You come in and you just know, this isn't working for me. This situation isn't working for me. This being that I am is not working for me.
And you say that you mean steps for people who are transitioning is the key. It's the key to success in the situation, because it can be very confusing. Where do you go from here?
Well, the steps are really a set of ethical standards established by WPATH, the World Professional Association of Transgender Health. And I am one of their members, and I adhere to those standards. And those standards could be seen as clinical signposts. In other words, we first establish that there is a problem with your gender. And then we proceed. We talk about what to do when changing your name. We talk about the requirements for going on hormones. We talk about transitioning on the job. And those standards operate silently in the background as clinical signposts. However, and I wish to emphasize this, every transition is different. So it's helpful to have those operating silently in the background, but they by no means define the transition. The client defines his or her transition. I'm there to facilitate, but I am not there to hijack the process. I am not there to take the process away from the client. And at the same time, I provide information for the client, because to a lot of people, they're not familiar with the standards of care. They may have read something about them. They may also understand that these standards are subject to interpretation. So I help my clients sort out the practical aspects as well as the emotional aspects.
And you say you explore gender identity with your clients, and you mentioned to me gender variant. What is that?
Gender variance is simply an expression for the fact that there are many ways to feel about your gender. It's not one way. I was born as a woman, but I don't get up every day and say, gee, I love being a woman. I simply don't think about it. The goal is for every person who feels variant from the gender that they are perceived as by other people to progress in life and to feel comfortable about that person's chosen path, that person's chosen gender, that person's felt gender, because it's almost not a choice. It's really more of a feeling. And we don't have the words for it, but saying that somebody has a felt gender is, I think, better than a chosen gender. Now, in terms of variance, that could be anything. You know, some people feel that they feel so female that they don't want any aspect of maleness in their life. Well, that's their version of gender, and that's their gender variance. Other people can be wanting to change their gender, but maybe not go all the way, maybe retain the genitalia of their former gender while still being on hormones. And it's up to me to support that decision, whatever that decision is.
Now, Christine, we're running out of time, but you have so much information to share with people who are in Dawn's situation, and I want them to be able to contact you if there is anyone out there who has questions. Can you give them your email? Or
yes,
your website?
They can contact me. I have a website, and they can just click on the email icon there. But the website is www.transgendercounseling.com.
Right.
Or alternatively, they can do a search under Transgender Counseling Los Angeles, and it will come up.
Wonderful. Thank you so much both for visiting me today. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
And as you have seen today, Dawn has dealt with gender issues that many of us take for granted on a day-to-day basis. Psychologists are still exploring what the true meaning of gender is, and it's still very much a divided issue. Today, you've seen one person's story. It may have informed you on issues you never knew about, or giving you hope while you struggle through a similar situation. This was one voice and one important story. If you have any questions or comments about this show, please email me at amyers@newsnetca.com or add me on Twitter by typing in twitter.com/AllieMyers123. I'm Alexandra, and I'll see you next week, same time, same place.